Greetings, all of you lovely, nutritious, edible, sentient creatures out there, and welcome back to Stellaris with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to the Scourge playthrough. Today, we are going to be playing as the Scourge themselves, except for in their infancy, as if they started off in this particular galaxy. Our only goal is to devour every last planet in the entire galaxy. A simple goal, a wholesome goal, a kind goal, to allow all things to transcend and become one with gluttony. So we are using 3 mods to allow us to happen. We are using the Scourge ships mod, which allows us to use these Scourge ships rather than any of the others. We are using the Bioforms Hive mod, and of course we are using the AI mod, which we use in every other playthrough, which should make enemies at least somewhat scary to us. Our goal is to consume every planet. I don't want any planets by the end of the game to not be a biohive. So for those who have not seen my recent video covering the Bioform Hive Empire mod, it's essentially this. You can now use food for almost everything, and each of your worlds will be converted into a living biohive. The biohives start simple and need to be matured over time, which is very expensive, but by the end it means every planet will be 100% habitability. So amenities, housing, everything like that is really, really powerful by the end, but honestly the start can be a little bit slow. And look at our adorable little face. To quickly cover the Bioform Civic, it is as follows. Our starting world is a biohive, and biohives have bombardment damage reduced by 75%. They cannot be invaded, and they have custom districts. However, if they take enough damage, the world will revert to its initial state. So if we infected a continental world, it will turn back to a continental world, we will lose all populations there, and all of our districts. At least that's how it seems it works from my previous playtest. It was a little bit difficult to find out, and I'm sure we will see that in action throughout the playthrough. We can colonize all 0% habitable worlds, which is good, because all worlds are 0% habitable towards us. Colonies become young biohives, and we can grow the young biohives using 2 planetary decisions. These are incredibly expensive and incredibly slow, but if we don't use them, the young biohive gives us a minus 40% modifier to our population growth and to our resource gathered, so it makes the worlds pretty useless. But once we have enough worlds going, our economy will start to really spiral out of control. It just takes a while to grow the worlds into the perfect paradise that we eventually turn them into. Now, with our economy, we cannot use the Galactic market, which we wouldn't be able to anyway, since we are using the Devouring Swarm. Our internal market fee, however, is set at 75%. This is absolutely brutal, and it means balancing your economy is incredibly necessary, because it is just that expensive. Our food stockpile is increased by 50,000, and ships' alloys cost is reduced by 60%, although ships will also cost food. You will notice very quickly, pretty much everything costs food. Districts, buildings, starbases, ships, all cost food and exotic gases, which thankfully, the Bioform worlds, the biohives, can actually produce by themselves. So although it is a difficult to get resource, at least we can make it naturally via districts. For our lovely Scourge, we are going into the following. We are agrarian, meaning we get more food, because that's the whole point of this empire and this particular species. We are all about harvesting everything we can find. We don't like moving because, well, look at how the Scourge is built. Can you imagine that moving around too easily? Because I can't. We are fleeting, because I just thought that would be a nice extra one there, rather than slow learners or quarrelsome, since we are a Hivemind, and these two don't really fit too well, and some of them just, again, don't seem to really fit in my opinion. And then we are charismatic, giving us bonus amenities. Now, I've got to admit, charismatic, I am tempted to remove for rapid breeders, purely because I don't think it fits very well, at least in terms of the theme. This is not charismatic. However, hive minds have terrible amenities production. It is very difficult to get your hive worlds to be happy, or at least very, very stable. And this really helps out. But I guess for now, we will go with rapid breeders, just because I don't think the other one fits at all. Of course, our starting world is Foodland, which orbits the invasion point. And with that, let's begin. So, we're going to be going with a large galaxy, we're going to be going with a ring galaxy, we're going to have all of this as default. However, we're going to have crisis strength on max, mid-game starting 50 years earlier, and that's the same with the end game, and then the AI's difficulty will be maxed out. After that, what we're going to do is have the AI aggressiveness on high. At the end of the day, we are the Scourge. Things are probably going to want to kill us before we spread everywhere. We start at the very corner of the galaxy. We are truly invading this place. Okay, I want more science as soon as possible, please. I'm going to rush that as much as I can, except for you. Population growth, fantastic. And let's get moving out. Now, with the Hive Capital, I know it's a bit weird, but I am going to focus quite a bit on science early on because I want some of the early tech done as soon as possible. Look at our lovely science ship. Isn't it adorable? Our construction ship is also working away. We have spent a lot of food, so we can get all of our stations up and running as soon as possible as well. And let's get a new science ship. As usual, we will be going with expansion to begin with. Although, honestly, this isn't bad either. Less food consumption and extra stability is pretty lovely, considering we're going to be so population and world heavy. Even less amenities. Okay, expansion, this, adaptability, maybe, once again, because of food. And then supremacy. So probably supremacy first, so you, or you. Either way, expansion, let's go. The default choice. And for those who have not watched my video on the biohives before, this is how we have our district set up. We have the hive chambers giving us housing and amenities, we have the geothermal tendrils giving us loads of energy and minerals, we have the bubbling pools costing us energy and alloys to produce gas, and then we have the most important arguably, the growth chambers giving us loads of food at the cost of energy and minerals. So everything is very, very interconnected. Once again, balancing your economy early on is so important. First time playing this, I didn't, and it was an absolute nightmare. Okay, let's grab our first world. A 24 size world here. Yep, let's grab that. That's going to be very expensive to convert, but let's get it done. Ooh. Really? Zone A has been discovered on Kovefe. Or however anyone wants to pronounce this particular thing. I think I actually lose all of these anyway, because as soon as you turn a world into a biohive, it removes all of the planetary features, both good and bad. And eventually turns them all into creep like the Zerg. But still, that happened, so that was cool. Now, one thing I want up all the time is this. Bonus food. 200 influence though, which is going to slow us down a lot, but bonus 20% food is pretty good when everything costs food. Well, here's our influence back. Thank you.
Technology conceived. Our construction is complete.
So, we're not the prettiest species out there, to be perfectly honest, but we're functional. And that's all that really matters. Let's get some better weapons. Come on, give me those lovely edicts. Thank you. Gonna grab that, and there we are. Bonus growth rate. We spread like a glorious, glorious plague. That's what I should have done to begin with, change our governor, because honestly, we don't have owned populations, we eat populations, and crime isn't a big problem until way later with the Hivemind, and honestly even then it's not a huge problem, so can we sell enough? Thank you. And let's grab ourselves the bonus food governor instead. Shame to be getting rid of a level 3, but since that costs upkeep, yep, there we are. More food, lovely. Our first colony has been created, our first new biohive, but sadly it's just a simple young biohive. Population growth minus 40%, resources minus 40%, making it all but worthless. So, grow biohive for 1000 minerals and 200 gas over 720 days. That will reduce its only -20, then we can do that again for the same cost, at least I think it's the same cost, maybe more, I forget, and then it will become mature and then just a basic world again. But for now, it's just going to kind of sit there, waiting. Looking all infected and stuff. Devouring Swarm. That's a good neighbour to find. You're not very nice. Well, that cost everything we had, but the first colony is now going to be matured. Fantastic. The second colony is about to be finished, and the colony ships are on the way to start infesting 2 more worlds. We need way more gas. We're really slow at maturing these things. 1 vision. To eat everything. But honestly, I want more unity, and I would love if the amenities usage was dropped drastically. I forgot how creepy the corvettes look. And the stations look. Yep, we've definitely got the creepy factor down. So right now, I am super nervous that the enemy is going to try and invade us, so I'm making a station here, which is going to be a bastion. I'm building up our fleet, which is really hurting our food income, and hopefully we can hold them off long enough that our economy can start bouncing back. Maybe. Well, at the moment, they're not actually attacking us, so hopefully they'll give us some breathing room. Went a little bit far, so now we're on negative food income because we went over our naval capacity, and ships cost food for upkeep. 2 of our planets, though, are now growing some more food districts, and we're about to increase our naval capacity, so it should balance out in a second. Wow, good timing. At least for us to try and reinforce this. Still gonna be bad, though. Please build faster. So, the war so far went as followed. They attacked us, we defended against them, thankfully, because of our station. We lost a couple of ships, but not too many. And now they're just sort of sitting here, waiting for us to attack near their station. Which is never going to happen. I'm also spending all of my food right now purely on our ships, and that is stopping me from doing anything else. This war needs to stop as soon as possible. Please. For some reason, my recording software just crashed. So, please. See? I can be polite. They're sending in single ships. Why? I don't know what just happened. I look away for 1 second, and apparently they finally sent a couple of decent ships. Well, fleets. And our station wasn't engaged until near the end, which was really stupid. So if I was paying attention, would have lost far, far less. Still, the important thing is we won.
Technology conceived.
Don't really care about you right now, fellas. It may seem like we're winning, but they are still overwhelming to us. The only reason why we are doing well is because our station is fully up. And that's it. Man, this station is just carrying me. Stay with the station. Oh, not another one. The station and the fact the enemy will not send everything at once. They're the only reasons we're kind of staying in here. Still losing a lot of ships, though. Nowhere near a status quo yet.
Our construction is complete. Our construction is complete.
Oh no, incoming more.
We send hostile swarm.
Just move back and heal up for a while. We can't lose these ships. Thankfully, of course, we do auto-heal because we are a devouring swarm ourselves, but still.
We have found an anomaly.
If we can win this, we might be able to status quo. Really should start just reinforcing these fleets. That'll send the ships over by default, but I keep forgetting. I'll do that next time.
We send hostile swarm.
Oh, come on, stop already!
We send hostile swarm.
Grabbing autocannons, grabbing fusion reactors due to this lovely research here. We should be able to get the basic combat computers from this as well. Yeah, I mean, overall, there is a lot of stuff we've got from this. Just not as much as we've lost. So, just to cover what's been going on then, so with that war, after looking back, we've essentially lost literally years worth of food income, so everything has slowed down, we have massively stopped just doing everything, but on the upside, of course, we did win, and the only reason we won is because of this lovely station. In addition to the fact the enemy kept on sending in wave after wave of about 2,000 fleet power or less, they definitely had about 5k total, which would have just overwhelmed us, but because they kept on sending them slowly, we were able to win, and of course the fact we are a devouring swarm, our ships healed between the fights, though we still lost almost all of our ships and had to continuously spend all food on ships, so we are way behind where I want to be right now. So I'm just going to kind of turtle up, make sure all of our worlds are finally upgrading, make sure they are all becoming mature and getting their normal bonuses rather than the negatives, and soon we should be back on track. We can now make destroyers. Lovely, although by the looks of things, most enemies aren't currently using missiles, so let's just stick with this. Lots of autocannons and a single laser. I don't know why gloop, but gloop. I've only just realised, but going down this route is actually fantastic because now we have Bulwark of Harmony. As long as we are within our own borders, we get plus 15% fire rate with our ships. That is fantastic. Now we're going to grab Technological Ascendancy. Fantastic as well. And let's give you one more research labs.
Technology conceived.
Oh, look. So you do get to keep the positive planetary features. Didn't know that. Very good to know, in fact. Let's see how they like it.
We flee the hostile swarm.
Excellent, we'll take that. I'm just going to avoid that, honestly, because I don't want to take any excess damage. I want to make sure our ships are nice and ready for the final fights. Maybe not like that. How about instead you do this, then I lock you out of here, and then you go back.
Technology conceived.
Made a nice clear line towards their first world, so you, ground forces, get moving.
A new nest is born. We flee the hostile swarm.
It's a pretty weak station. We could maybe just attack everything at once. This would destroy everything they have. There goes our landing forces.
Planetary infestation begun.
Sure, let's give it a go. Why not?
Our construction is complete. Nest structure ruined. Hostile swarm engaged. Our construction is complete.
You may be a devouring swarm, but you ain't the Scourge. Though we are going to take some serious losses here. Still going to win, that's the important thing, and we have taken over this world, fantastic, and now we're eating its populace, wonderful. So what we need to do now is save up so we can start converting this into a biohive. At the moment we have 0% habitability, which is terrible, as you can well imagine. But still, loads of food. Since they have loads of defense forces on their capital, I'm just going to go ahead and take as much space as possible. We can status quo whenever we want. Change of plan. I really want that homeworld. So, we're just going to bombard it for a while. It's gonna take a while. On the upside, I am growing some more soldiers next door, so eventually we're going to take it. Their homeworld is ours, and what I need to do quickly is remove all these districts. The reason is, once I convert this into a biohive, it's not like we actually keep any of the districts. They all simply vanish, they don't convert. And currently, they cost us gas and food. Except for the hive districts, which are just energy. But still, everything offline, all of those destroyed, lovely. Look at all that beautiful food we're getting, fantastic. Okay, so what do we want now? Amenities is honestly probably the best thing we can get. Naval capacity is fantastic, but eventually we're going to have loads of star bases because of our population, so yeah, let's go with that. One more world is ours. Lovely. So we have one world left, so what would be best now then is just to make sure we can grab all the other systems. Ooh. There's a mega structure there. A very good one for such an aggressive empire. Nice. Very nice, in fact. Do you know what I love about this? We're currently devouring people right there, and that biomass is instantly being converted into this cruiser swarm. It's the cycle of life if life got just a little bit more brutal. Just a bit more. And so the Hivemind has been devoured, although we now have a new enemy ready to kill us, which is not exactly very good. On the upside though, I do have my cruisers and stuff ready, so if we can just get on the border, I want to attack them before they attack us. The drums of war just activated, and so one of the Marauder empires has fully awoken. All thy over here. Least concerning event I have ever seen. A little while in the future, and the zealots are attacking us, and they're doing something weird. They keep on moving from here, down to here, then back again, because they don't seem to understand how to get to invasion point. If we go over to their ships, as you can see, moving to the invasion point system, and it seems like what they're doing is moving in relation to these two fleets, since these two fleets can easily kill one of their fleets, and they have two fleets. It's a little bit weird. Honestly, if they stuck together, once again, they could probably destroy everything we have, but thankfully they're not really doing that. So what I'm going to do is post this fleet over here and move these two down, and hopefully we can catch them off guard. I'm also hoping that when we attack them with our cruisers, we see that our strike craft are the Scourge strike craft, because that would look awesome. If they're not, then they're not, but if they are, I'll be very happy. Okay, now they're going both ways. Interesting. Remember, we do have Bulwark of Harmony, so what we really want to do is lure them into our territory, so you guys just stay there. Lovely, that's what I wanted to see. Hello there.
Hostile swarm engaged.
Okay, let's see what our strike craft look like. Yes, they are indeed the Scourge strike craft. Beautiful. Well, obviously now then we need to focus on strike craft because that's just the most Scourge thing we can possibly do. Just look at them. Can you go and attack the enemy? Oh yeah, I forgot these also attack incoming projectiles because they're the scout craft. Anyway, go! Just swarms everywhere. Yeah, we are definitely focusing on swarms, which is something I never really do. Are you heading towards us? Yes, you are. Okay, so once again, just stay where you are. The Bulwark of Harmony is definitely something we need to take advantage of as much as possible. We're now also able to upgrade to the basic strike craft, essentially doubling our damage. Lovely. Currently, I can't upgrade our lasers because I don't have any access to crystals. Yeah, can't even purchase them at the moment. So until we can use crystals, I'm kind of just stuck using quite basic weaponry, which is really annoying. So right now then, just taking back essentially what we lost, so nothing really to see here. Which is fine, honestly. If we can just take all this back, then we can start preparing for the next war. Honestly, I would rather take out these fellows, so... yeah. Ooh, looks like the Horde is doing some good work over there. Have fun, guys. Scourge in the right, Horde in the left. Nowhere in the galaxy is safe. And you need some more housing. As soon as I have the food to do so. Well, that's annoying. I knew that was going to happen.
Our construction is complete.
Excuse me, fellas, can you just lose this fight so I can status quo, please? One more pointless war. Okay, most likely, yep, status quo, good, good, good. Lost loads of our fleets. Should still be enough left, though, to repel the enemy. Yep, definitely. But it's going to take a long time to get there. That is really annoying. So, I wonder how much damage they're going to do before we get there. Probably won't take a world, but will likely take a lot of this space. So it's going to be just our cruisers getting that space back. Lovely swarmers. Okay, so there's acting as a distraction, because I really don't want to lose our planets. Okay, you're going that way. Our ships are almost there to reinforce. Once they get there, it should be a pretty decent victory for us. Maybe we can even grab one of their worlds, or at least a lot of their systems. Over here, I think I gained one system from this war, and lost a lot of food in the process. Still using the basic strike craft here, which isn't exactly great, but still.
Our construction is complete.
We have enough of them that we're still going to win. Good, so we can take that back over now. There's a 5,000 fleet on the way, but that's fine. Over here, we've scared off one of their fleets, but there's a second fleet here which is strong enough to probably kill us. Yeah, we're not doing fantastically. Well, that's terrifying. I can't get over how much I love the strike craft. Just wait until we have battleships. Which should be fairly soon, actually. If we are really going to focus on strike craft so much, we should really transfer into missiles and disruptors. The reason is, the strike craft ignore all shields and do bonus armor damage, so really using lasers is kind of stupid. Because that just does almost no shield damage and gets stuck on the shield, whilst the basic strike craft go through the shield and do all the real damage. So the lasers do nothing in the course of the fight, really. That's definitely what we need to do, transfer away from lasers as soon as I have some better tech. Just to prove to myself that yes, the scout versions of the strike craft definitely attack missiles. Which I don't think any of the further upgraded versions do, sadly. But when they're dealing almost double damage, don't really care. We now have the ability to create clone vats, because we've just grabbed engineered evolution. We now have +3 to our gene modification points, which is really, really good, and by the looks of things, we're very quickly taking over everything over here. So you go there and continue forth. We have a huge section of cruisers over here, and soon we're going to start building our battleships, which of course are still going to go with strikecraft and disruptors. The cruisers are eventually going to turn into missile craft, so that will be missiles and strikecraft. And of course, disruptors. Just need more tech first of all. So let's have a quick look at our species. What can we do with you? Well, first of all, let's remove fleeting. And what do we want in return? We could go with pure science. We're already doing pretty well for science, so increasing our science by 15%, sorry, by 10%, isn't exactly bad. At the same time, though, we could increase how many immunities we get, which is really, really good. Or we could just go with unity or resource output. I'm thinking science, honestly. We're already doing really well with science. Let's just continue with that. Upgraded our strike craft, which is making our craft a lot stronger. Yep, we are going up in power very, very quickly. Normally, this rare research isn't really anything amazing, but with this particular empire, plus 15% food from jobs is pretty groundbreaking. I have a feeling like very, very soon, these enemies are about to really regret attacking us. This is their homeworld. This is the Scourge. A combination I'm sure they're not particularly happy with. And once everything's dead, begin bombardment.
Our construction is complete.
All these lovely tomb worlds, which will soon become our new hives. And we're out of gas. We're doing really well for food, at least, at the moment, but yeah, we need some more gas production again. So you're attacking down there. Okay, you head over there and start defending this direction. Once again, the zealots are attacking us, and this time it's going to be a serious problem since we are currently still at war. I really want their homeworld, but we might need to just status quo for now. But we're so close. Okay, as soon as we grab the homeworld, we're moving down and hopefully we can defend ourselves. We definitely have enough power to defend ourselves and destroy everything they have. But they're going to claim a lot of our territory before then, once again. The planet is ours, and I've moved off most of the population purely because we weren't getting any food here for some reason. And so right now, what we're getting is 471 food and 115 society research. Lovely. Going to climb back these systems so we have all this nice and connected, and then this fleet is going down here. This is our main fleet. We're also now building up some of our battleships. So many strike craft. This is not a good fight for us. We should win this, but we're going to lose a lot of our cruisers. Yeah, swarm spam, definitely not the meta. But still, there we go, that's one of their main fleets destroyed. Our battleship fleet is very quickly being created, which is lovely. And the other fleet is moving down to help out. We should actually be able to take a lot of their space. This time, I'm not letting them get away with this. We are going to destroy as much as possible. When they attacked us, we simply took over their homeworld. When the Devouring Swarm attacked us, we took over huge sections of their space. And now they're attacking us. We're going to eat their faces off. All future battleships will be using the ion disruptors, and all future cruisers will now be using missiles and the disruptors. And of course, lots of strike craft. Our battleships have finally reached here and now pushing the enemies back. Sadly though, our cruisers have had to run away because there's a fleet after them, which is more than capable of simply destroying them. Our main cruiser fleet is still slowly heading on down. We need gateways this run, definitely. So as soon as I see that tech, I'm going right for it. On the upside as well, better shields for the future. Lovely. We may actually win this fight. This was the fleet which was chasing after our cruisers. The thing is, they were using a lot of missiles, and we are using strike craft which attack missiles along with loads of flak. So a lot of their first volley simply didn't land. So although they had almost 2,000 extra fleet power than we had, we're doing okay. Might not win, But even if we lose, we are going to destroy a lot of them. The swarm is endless. Now, battleships are here as well, now taking over all of this. Finally, the main cruiser fleet is here. Okay, go and chase after these two, please. They're taking far too much, then take all of that back. Then we can start pushing into their territory. Then, vengeance. We have finally found the precursor homeworld. That took a very long time. But there we are. And let's continue to upgrade this. So what I really want is that there. Complex drone output plus 5%. So I'll have that very, very soon.
We have found an anomaly.
Okay, that's their main fleet. I think it's the only fleet they really have left. So once we take out that, we have pretty much free reign to do what we want. At least until war exhaustion finally hits us. So go straight for this world and then straight for the home world. Did you guys really just try to ambush my battleships? You're going to die before they've sent out all of their strike craft. They're still sending more out. Yep. That did not go well for you. However, for some reason I didn't actually claim that territory, which is very silly. Now this is going to be a fight. Sadly, these battleships are still the old versions with the old weaponry and one level below the max for strike craft, but still. They're very close in terms of fleet power. My money would honestly be on the enemies, but it depends on what weapons they're using. Oh yeah, these are still using cannons. Not the best choices. Oh, okay, the enemy are using lots of missiles. He's wishing we had non-flak point defense. In fact, just for this one fight, I'm going to change the war doctrine from no retreat over to hit and run. I do like no retreat though. Bonus 33% ship fire rate, which I believe is also transferred over to the strike craft. But yeah, I don't want to lose this many battleships. You know what? No. No retreat. We are the Scourge. We don't run from battle. Oh, poor battleship. Poor kind of creepy space whale. Looks like we are going to win though. Yeah, behold the power of the swarm. But don't worry, we have a brand new swarm already heading your way. Go, go, broodlords.
Our construction is complete.
Now that's a proper swarm. Sadly, war exhaustion is now hitting, so we aren't going to be able to do quite as much as I intended, but still, we have drove them back and we have taken over some of their space. And more importantly, we have a new wormhole, which leads us to a whole new empire. And straight away, there's a lovely world there filled with delicious, sapient life. So cruel to our poor creatures. It's almost like we've been eating their brethren or something. The war is over and I've claimed a nice chunk of territory for myself, including a pretty good science world. So let's grab that, and that'll be ours nice and soon. We're now at 3,000 science, although our Empire Sprawl is pretty painful to look at, to be perfectly honest. What we really need to do is start actually, you know, expanding normally, grabbing all these worlds, because there's a lot of places we've just sort of left. So for now, whilst the truce holds, because sadly the truce is also with these fellows, we may as well work on ourselves. Lovely, the max level phase disruptors. And we're now building some fleets, which are both battleships and cruisers. Again, I'm not saying this is the best thing to do, but it is certainly the most fun whilst playing as the Scourge. We have 2 fleets over here just waiting for the truce to fall off, then we're going to claim as much of this as possible. Wow! Or at least what's going to be left of this place. Those fellows are doing a lot of damage to them right now. Since when did fallen empires have such powerful fleets? 236,000? 151,000? Okay, that is terrifying. And I want to devour their faces, but that's a little bit too scary for me, at least for now. A little while later, and our research is doing great. Also, what I'm going to do very, very soon is attack this fellow here, the Dimensional Horror. Apparently someone's already attacked them a little bit. Which is fine by me. Behold the swarm.
Our construction is complete.
Wow, that is just like bees. Actually more like ants, honestly, just how many there are.
Our construction is complete.
Oh yeah, I was going to stop you from having artillery mode since you have such short-range weapons. Forgot about that. That's what I need to do next. There we go, we are victorious. The swarm always wins.
Our situation log is updated.
Wait, did I have no scientists nearby? Well, that's pretty darn silly, isn't it? Could have sworn I had one right there. Oh no, I had one over there, but then when the enemy attacked, it ran away. That's what happened. Fantastic. Okay, let's start researching the jump drive. So the Great Khan has died, but before that happened, they managed to take over a large section of the galaxy, and apparently also became the star on a Christmas tree. That is completely off the map. Well done, lads. You did well. The Horde has splintered, seemingly into 2 empires. Well, that'll make it easier to eat later. We are now able to grab Evolutionary Mastery. And of course this is because we've just got the Ascension perk research completed. Lovely. So with that, we can grab this. Time to make the ultimate versions of ourselves. So let's increase our leader level cap, our research output, and start having some bonuses for our leaders. I then want to increase our leader level cap even further. Then, it's a hard choice between Fertile and Robust. Robust will give us just plus 5% resources from everything and a leader lifespan increase, although so far we've had no leaders die from old age. If you play as the Scourge portrait, does that somehow make you immortal? It doesn't say that anywhere. Maybe it's just weird, but yeah, I've had no leaders die of old age yet, which is kind of bizarre considering some of them are well over 100. Maybe they're just very healthy, who knows. So, definitely going with that. Definitely increasing our leader level cap. And I think I will go with Fertile, just because then we're going to have loads of our populations. And then I also want to increase our society research. Let's add fleeting. Oh, no, we're simply out of things to spend. Okay, never mind then. So, that is pretty much what I want. Sadly, I have no trait picks left. So what am I going to lose? Well, this will lose us some food. But in return, we're going to increase our research drastically and increase our growth rate. Yep, I think it's worth it.
Our situation log is up.
Sure, you may have killed some of our very angry space whales, but here's the thing. These are the less evolved versions. These are the ones using the old weapons, the old armor, old shielding. You're essentially killing our weak, so that we may become stronger. Just covered in very angry bees. Once again, all of these fleets here are the old versions. The new one is the one which is about to be guarding the wormhole. Our first world has already been conquered. Look at that lovely, lovely food. They're far too kind to us. Are you strong enough to deal with this? Oh yeah, definitely. Their capital is now under siege. Can you two please take back all of those and then go back to defending? The Scourge has been improved, which means now, if they're a governor, they get plus 5% to all research. If they are a researcher, they get plus 5% to research speed. Our leader gets plus 5% research speed on top of that. Our admirals, I believe, get fire rate, and so on and so forth. All of our leaders are now much more powerful. And of course, we're just getting plus 20% research from everything as well, because our populace is better as well. Excellent. Now you go over there, and let's colonize this world once we have a starbase available. So, we now have access to Titans, and they are absolutely terrifying looking. Just look at that thing. Thankfully, I recently got Cloud Lightning, so there we are, so we can still ignore shields for the most part. Going to just give you a mix of shields and armor, because why not? And let's go with regen, even more regen. We heal so quickly. You know what? Let's have you not slowing down the entire fleet. How about that? Lovely. And so prosperity was finished. So what do we want next? I'm tempted by the Colossus project purely because I want to see if we have a Scourge version of the Colossus, which would be terrifying. But I don't think that's the right answer, honestly. I'm very tempted by Transcendent Learning, just having max level on all of our leaders, especially on the Hivemind itself, would be immensely powerful. On top of the plus 50% experience gain bonus. Yeah, let's max out all of our leaders. I think that makes the most sense. As we get more members of the Hivemind, it only makes sense that the Hivemind becomes more powerful and more intelligent with every single assimilated subject. Or at least, everything we eat.
Our construction is complete.
Wow, I haven't seen this bug in a while, so we should be fighting back here, but even if I try to order it, we'll just stand there. Haven't seen that in ages. Now, thankfully, it's fixed very easily by simply going to a different system then going back, or just going to a different system in general. But I've actually lost fleets because of that. But ages ago. The enemy are just using battleships as well. Okay. Haven't seen that before. You are investing way too much into shields. We ignore them completely. Okay, so sadly, our war exhaustion is getting up there. The chance of us getting everything is slim. We may be able to, but it depends on how many fleets they keep on sending against us. So, turns out that their allies eventually arrived and completely wiped out that one fleet of ours. Now, once again, that was our weakened and old fleet. They were definitely not our current standard. But even so, the war exhaustion is almost 100%, and honestly, I'm happy with what we've got. And I really need to focus now on destroying the Fallen Empire, which has a lot of fleet power. So I'd rather just stop now, get all of our fleets together. We do have our Titans now to bring with us. And soon, we're going to get some lovely, lovely Fallen tech. Well, to answer a question I had earlier, nope, our people are definitely not immortal. There goes one of our leaders, which is a real shame. And I've just realised the reason why we haven't seen any die from old age is purely because we can have such young leaders. Because we are a Hivemind and we're sending in drones, we can have them, I think, at pretty much any age. Am I correct with that? 15, 12 there, 17, 15, 13, 10 even. With the Machine Empire, you can have ones which are just like a few years old, and I think that might be true for Hiveminds, but either way, as you can tell, our leaders are being recruited incredibly young in comparison to a normal empire. We now have the ability to restore ruined megastructures. The problem is, our alloy production is kind of rubbish, because we don't need them. And most of our alloys are either being used in ships in very small amounts, or to produce gas to build everything else. How am I gonna do this? I really want this, though. This will increase our navy capacity, how many star bases we can have, how many defense structures we can have around those star bases, and even our sub-light speed of our ships. I guess save up and hope for the best? Maybe start making some proper alloy worlds? Because I really, really want that. I wonder what the Fallen Empire thinks when it looks at its borders and sees this. 4 different Titans in one fleet, loads of battleships, loads of cruisers, all of them with a rather hungry-looking glare.
Our construction is complete.
What do you think, fellas? Yes? Yep. This is why you're a Fallen Empire. Lathric's actually bothering to do the gateway construction? Clearly the Scourge's intelligence is wearing off on me. Wait, rubbing off on me. Damn it! I had one moment of intelligence, and it was snuffed like a candle. I need some chocolate milk and a cookie. I've just realised something. I've been looking at my food stocks and having a look at how many populations we're still devouring, and came to a pretty bad conclusion. Once we're done devouring the last of the populations we're currently devouring, we're going to start starving. We do not have enough normal food production to survive. We really need to eat some fallen ones really soon. You will sustain the Scourge for many, many years. Your life has led up to this moment. A true noble goal. The preservation of an entire species. An angry, angry species. Well, another reason why we're starving so quickly, of course, is because of the simple fact we are so over the naval capacity, which is kind of horrendous. Yeah, let's go food for now. So, you. We're hungry.
We will annihilate the others.
This is going to be so many strikecraft.
Our construction.
Look at that lovely light show. Not all that good though, honestly. Our Titans are kind of worthless. Because everything else ignores shields. So them hitting shields with those beams, not that great. Although it does mean, of course, we can set out our swarms a little bit earlier. Oh, look at that. We will blot out suns. Like, seriously, we will blot out suns.
Technology conceived.
We are the swarm. And you are about to be devoured. Sadly, not all that many populations there, but still, food is food, and who are we to turn down a meal? It would be rude to do so, honestly. Okay, all of you get there, then line up. They've moved away from their capital because they're dum-dums, although saying that, because we are at total war, they will be able to start taking our systems. No! Humiliate. Are they not at total war with us? Do they need to do claims? But yes, surrender is humiliate, so we don't even lose anything. This is why you're a fallen empire! 2 fleets worth of reinforcements are arriving very soon, although by the looks of things we're about to be attacked. And there's no chance we can move away in time, so that's going to be fun. Going to lose quite a lot here, but we should ultimately win. Wait for the reinforcements to get here, then attack their next station. Here they are. Yep, the swarm very rapidly dealing with the enemies. Fantastic. And that was their main fleet. Honestly, point blank is not a problem when you're using pure swarm. Still don't think the swarm is a particularly great option to spam, but it is a lot of fun. Okay, you're getting there soon. You can teleport and start moving as well, and you can reinforce. That's all we have, isn't it? No, we do have this fleet here. Not exactly a strong fleet, but still. Quickly devouring all the defense structures. Reinforcement fleet finally arrives, and that should be that. Lovely. Okay, so looking at these, we can probably take out one of these straight away with the ground force, so attack one of the weaker ones, which you're already doing. Fantastic. The rest of you, start bombarding Brother and Cradle. Honestly, I didn't think we were going to be able to take their homeworld. The main goal of this was just to get tech, which we already got. So, even if we lose here, this has been a great success, honestly.
Enemy nest taken.
That's 2 worlds sorted. Just 1 left. Shouldn't be too long now. Cradle is being invaded, and I've just realised this is actually solving our alloy problem. All those lovely, lovely fabricators and autoforgers. Fantastic.
Our construction is complete.
My Titan! All we wanted to do is get some food. You're so cruel. Melt it already. But yeah, time to reinforce and status quo when we can. Still can't status quo right now though. So that's up to them. Those who we devour become the new ships. Although we have lost many in the process, our newer ships have something special about them. They have dark matter reactors, soon to have dark matter shields and dark matter thrusters. Basically, they're going to be way more powerful. And status quo has been achieved. They have 1 system left and 1 worthless little planet. All in all, a great success. Now I have 4 separate space stations all making ships for me because I am so weak right now. And I want to go on invading again. Now, I assume you two are the best of friends now, yeah? As it looks, is that the case, or am I going mental? Well, more so than usual. Yes, you're the Overlord, so best friend is a weird way of putting it, but you are on the same side. But the thing is, you have no other defensive packs, and you're both incredibly weak, so I can take out both of you and take over this entire section in one fell swoop. Okay, let's build up our fleet so we have several fleets to go at once, and then we'll take all of this. As you can see, I finally grabbed all of the systems in this area. Sadly, there's a gap there, which is really annoying, but still. I'll take out this in a second, grab that, then I'll put our forces there and there. Then we'll take over one more empire. What I need is some dark matter. Oh look! Black holes everywhere. Titan, can you please stop rushing ahead? We have the most aggressive Titans. Probably because they're in a fleet of only battleships, so it's just what they're gonna do. Well done, Titan. 10 out of 10. 5 points to you. I am a dum-dum. You see, battleships, that's what you shouldn't do. Though to be fair, maybe I should start making some more balanced fleets, you know, with battleships alongside of destroyers and everything else. Lovely. Beginning the reconstruction.
Our construction is complete.
It'll take a long time, but it'll certainly be worth it. I also now have enough fleet power, I can probably take out this empire and this empire at the same time. Which is the plan. Now I believe that these fellows, the ones with the web, actually own these guys. Yes, yes they do. But they have... okay, they have a federation. So what happens if I go to war with these? Will I go to war with the whole federation or just... oh, I can't declare war with these. So I need to declare war with these. So yeah, I will go to war with the entire federation. That's kind of annoying. But the rest of the federation is so far away, it doesn't really matter all that much. Okay, good turn. So we'll just break through here, devour all of this, then break through here, devour all of this. Then that will be a nice war for that. Okay, move you over there. The fleet will go with you. This fleet should be done now. Fantastic. You can move over here. These fleets, yep, all go to here, since that's the only entrance point. You can stay back since you're still being reinforced. First war now active. You go this way, you attack here, and then you'll split off as you enter. Okay, go. This one should be incredibly easy, honestly, so likely a lot of skipping in the video. Now waging war with the enemies towards the south, we are waging war with the enemies towards the north, and eventually towards the west. I would say towards the east as well, but there's no fun really just punching the void. Corvette spam! Chase down these annoying people who just teleported over there. Discovery is now finished, increasing our research speed by 10%. And what we're going to grab next is the question. Galactic Wonders would be interesting, but I don't really have the resources to really do that. Defender of the Galaxy, just to make sure we can defeat the endgame crisis, would be interesting as well. Galactic Force Projection. I mean, Navy capacity is great, especially with our modifiers to increase that. Grasp the Void, once again, that would be more Navy capacity. Honestly, there's not many things here I'm particularly interested in. Mastery of Nature would be good. We do have a lot of spare resources. This would also allow us to have 2 extra districts per planet. This would make the planets insanely powerful. We do have a long time to go before the endgame crisis occurs. At very minimum, we have 70 years. Well, just under 70 years. We don't really need the Colossus project since we are just that powerful in terms of grabbing planets as the Devouring Swarm. Yeah, let's just go with Mastery of Nature, I suppose. So now, if we go on over to our homeland, there we are, increasing our districts by 2. So beautiful. So I've decided we're going to take this anyway. We keep on seeing ships disappearing and taking one system after another, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab these systems normally using our construction vessels. Oh, but we could just grab them now. It's not like that can get very far. Okay, never mind. You back to passive. Taking over the capital and the last world of this empire. Shouldn't take too much longer. Then when that's done, we can start invading their masters. All of this will be ours as well. When did I lose your admiral? Who knows? Well, without realising it, we are now facing off versus the Federation fleet. I'm afraid I really want to keep the system because I want your gateway. That was painful, but once again, this is ours. Might leave the war for now. At this stage, what I really want to do is focus on the planets again, which is difficult to do when you're constantly waging wars and focusing on building more ships. The coordination center is restored. For an aggressive empire, that is such a lovely bonus. More star bases, more navy capacity, and more sublight speed. So, we've made status quo down here, we've grabbed 2 gateways and loads of worlds, and we're still currently fighting up in the north, and by the looks of things, we're going to take absolutely everything. So that would be 1, 2, 3 empires completely devoured by gluttony. Somebody just opened up the L gate. That's worrying. I'm not actually going to go through right now because I'm way too busy with other things, but still. Here's hoping it's not one of the more aggressive L gate events. So with how long this is taking, I've got to be honest, there's a very real chance we're not going to infest every last world during this playthrough, purely because it would take maybe an extra day or 2 to get this video out. Which would be a little bit annoying, to say the least.
We have surveyed the system. Nest structure ruined.
The Hivemind has been removed, and now we're taking over its minions. So very soon, we'll have all of this space all to ourselves, so we can start focusing on our many, many, many new colonies. There's a lot to get through. Well, since I can't find their worlds, and apparently they do indeed have 0 colonies and 0 empire population, I've ended the war, I've taken over this entire section, and now, what I need to do is save up loads of gas to take over all of these planets, along with upgrade the planets we've already captured. This is definitely the time now where the swarm should be looking inwards and improving itself. It can't keep on affording to just expand and expand and expand because we're not keeping up with the resources needed to upgrade our planets. So, a lot of boring micromanagement, and soon we'll be ready again to start conquering. That was a very good set of wars. About a third of the whole galaxy is now ours. All of our swarms are now back home being upgraded. And there's a lot of them. So I'm very, very tempted to convert our battleships into something like this. So we're going to lose 1 set of hangars. Sorry, actually, no, just 1 hangar. And then in return, we get the focused arc emitter, which is just ridiculously good against so many endgame crises. We can also change the back section for one of the cloud lightning. Essentially, we're mutating into space electric eels. But still focusing heavily on strikecraft. We still have 2 hangars. Also a bit more generic point defense. You know, I think I am going to do this. We still get to keep the theme, but we're a little bit more competitive. Oh, but then we're going to lose strikecraft per battleship, and that really annoys me. So we could stick with this and just have a single cloud lightning. That's so weak, and this is so strong. No, we're definitely going with this. It's just... It's such a good way of doing things. Also, I really need to speed them up. Well, the game certainly thinks these are a lot stronger. As soon as they upgrade, yet the fleet power goes through the roof per upgrade. Yeah, this is definitely the way to do this. Still heavy focus on strikecraft and point defense, but now we're also a little bit more competitive versus some of the endgame stuff.
Our construction is complete.
Well, think we found a bit of a bug. Yeah, with the destroyers, if you have the large artillery bow and use the cloud lightning, they suddenly become a floating turret. I kind of love that, but no, let's avoid that. We can't see the cloud lightning on the battleship, can we? No, okay, that's good at least. That is so silly.
Our mental network is vast, giving us access to thoughts and ideas from every corner of our empire. But not a single entity has ever seen anything that would lend merit to your tragic existence.
So many worlds still need to be grown. Even though we're getting over 100 gas every single month, we're still so slow to mature our worlds. I would say at least maybe a fifth of our worlds are currently not fully matured yet. Ooh, an entity. Ooh, a Gaia world. Huh, 100% habitability. That's weird. Is our scientist just not caring about the giant evil thing here? Evidently so. You do you. You do you. The swarm grows bored upgrading these worlds. Let's move out a fraction of our fleets, and let's take over the consciousness here. We will be the only Hivemind, and you will simply be dinner. Maybe brunch. So, after seeing our current pathing to try and get over here, I'm now building a gateway right next to our home system. Is this dangerous? Yes. Does it mean we can strike out against anyone in almost any section of our empire? Also, yes. Certainly worth it. I'm building some more over here as well. Here's one of the regular gateways. Why is that red? How do you fix it? Oh, you just have to repair it. Never mind. For some reason, I thought there was something special about disabled gateways other than just press repair. That's me being a bit dumb there. And yet, there's still more worlds we need to conquer over here as well. Every world within our territory will be infested. Originally, I planned on taking out every single world in the entire game, but after realizing that would take me maybe an extra day of recording, and this weekend I'm pretty much away from the computer, well, I would like this to be out before the end of the weekend. Wow, look at that. You see, here's the problem with not sharing the mind of every member of your empire. You fracture. Despite the fact at least 2 other empires have got all of the L-Gate researches sorted, no one has done this. So you know what? We're gonna open it. We certainly have enough forces to spare, and there's an L-Gate right there, so let's get some scientists and construction workers over there as soon as possible, because we are going to be opening the L-Gate probably before we go to war. Finally getting some use out of the mastery of nature, this is now the 6th world, which I'm upgrading. So about that whole L-Gate thing before the war, I changed my mind. Ooh, that's shockingly good. Sorry. A valiant effort in defense. Worthless, but valiant. Which means that wormhole goes over here. Oh no, poor you.
A new nest is born.
soon. The L Gates to see an event I've never actually seen before happen. We have the L Drakes emerge. The L Drakes are all going to different systems trying to find something, though we have only one choice, it will find only death. So I'm going to just let them go. I know there's definitely multiple levels to this event, so I'll try to keep an eye on what's happening, but most likely we're going to be sort of just leaving them from now on. Okay, send the scientists through. I don't think we're going to need our ships for this, so I guess we may as well send them along and take over this territory. There we go. Have fun. Oh, you shouldn't have, you lovely Hivemind. You've completely fixed up this science nexus for me. Oh, you are so kind. Now, if you could get your friends out of my territory before I blast their faces in, that would be good as well. The science nexus is now ours, which means we are getting plus 15% to our research speed. Lovely. Considering our rather terrifying empire sprawl, that's nice. Okay, so this is getting a bit messy right now, so reclaim all of that, claim this area which will completely destroy almost all of the consciousness, let's go for these two worlds, and just keep doing damage over here, then I'll probably status quo. Gained a lot of ground, but we need to sort out the planets again. So, remember how we left a single world for this fallen empire? They've just awoken. With their single world. Yeah, honestly, not really too scared of you. So, a recap of the war. Everything's going well, except for one problem, which was me being very silly. Although I did climb this area of the L-Gate, I forgot to put down a station, which means that basically every enemy could use the L-Gates just like we can, and thus they are attacking absolutely everywhere. Thankfully, their attack forces are fairly mild, and we are beating them back. Now I've realised what's going on. So I'm clearing out that. We've just taken the home system of the Second Empire we're at war with. We've almost completely destroyed the consciousness. I think they only have 3 systems of planets left. After this, I'm putting down a bastion here, so this won't happen again. Other than that, just pretty straightforward, nothing really to report. Bit of micromanaging in the background, and that's it. Continue on. So everything is cleared up now, which is great. I don't think there's any enemies left in our territory. No, one is apparently left, must have just moved in as we grab that back. What else is there to do? We've grabbed back the L cluster, about to build a station over there. So I think once I grab this little bit of territory here, so we have an easy way to move around without using the gates all the time, I'm going to call it status quo, because we really need to sort out the planets. I'm trying to sort out the planets as we grab more of them, but because we keep on getting more and more and more, our resources are being stretched thin, and I can't change them, so we end up losing loads of resources. Yeah, okay. Just do that, status quo, and then micromanaging planets. Adaptability is now finished, and so we have one more choice, and honestly, there's not much here I particularly want. I really feel like we've sort of won already at this point. Defender of the Galaxy, of course, would pretty much guarantee our victory, but I think that's a bit boring. Let's see if we can win without that this time. Voidborn, really don't need that right now. Galactic Wonders, I suppose, would be interesting. We already have the Science Nexus, though. Unless that was a repaired Science Nexus. If they just built the Science Nexus, then we can't build a new one. However, I believe you can build a second one if you repair the first. So, for fun, Galactic Wonders. Let's see then, can we build a brand new Science Nexus? Please say, oh yes we can. Well, that was definitely the right choice, and that's going to be some serious science. Now, I'm not sure if the bonus research speed, the 15% research speed, stacks if you have multiple Science Nexus. So, if nothing else, we're going to do a bit of science right now. With the Science Nexus. Science. The Stellar Devourer. It's in our territory, so I thought, may as well. All of our point defense there, attacking its missiles, and there are our lovely swarms. We may be using lightning now, but the swarm should still be a significant amount of our damage. Stop focusing on the Titan. Its missiles being shot down. Lovely. And down she goes. And you can return home. Our scientist should be on the way already. Well, we lost our science ship, but there we go.
Technology.
The star should be back online, leading to loads of lovely, lovely worlds. Speaking of which, why have I never grabbed this one? In the future, we have 43,000 science now, so even though our Empire Sprawl is horrendous, with that amount of science, we're still getting loads of the repeatables done. We've almost reached 3,000 naval capacity as well, which is very, very nice. The problem is, I am kind of siphoning away all my minerals and food for our navy and our science. That will eventually be fixed. Most of our planets are still in the early stages of population growth, so once all that's sorted, then that should be okay. Though saying that, we are also eating a lot of things very, very quickly. Bit of steak, with a bit of mushroom on the side. So, a small correction for earlier, not that it's really making too much of a difference in the galaxy right now. It turns out these fellows were not the ones who awoken. Instead, it was these fellows who were the science Fallen Empire over here. I only thought it was these because of the huge minus opinion of us, but of course that's because we claimed a lot of their worlds and they've put claims on our worlds. So that's why they're so annoyed at us. No, it's over here. These are indeed the Awakened Empire lands. Although, by the looks of things, they're not really a threat to us, so you keep on being you. Tempted to grab it though. We could attack this. Wow, look at all of those federations. Huh. We could do. We just don't need to. There was a machine uprising, and now loads of this territory belongs to a brand new machine intelligence. So well done to you. The problem is, we've closed the borders to them, so although they are at war with their neighbours, the ones they've simply swapped from, they can't really do anything about it. They're just kind of sitting there. So, well done. You're free to do absolutely nothing. In the meantime, very soon, almost all of our planets are now finally finished maturing out, so what we could do is send some of the ships up here and take over this section. Not only is this a lovely bit of territory, but also we could go after the Awakened Empire and all of their fantastic buildings. The problem is it'll cost us loads of food to get moving, since when these aren't docked, they cost a lot more, so we can't resend all of our fleet right now, because we can't afford to. Yeah, we need to sort out our food and minerals. They're the two things which are really struggling at the moment, and thankfully, we have all these new lovely planets we can focus on. So, whilst we're waiting around for the endgame crisis, we may as well destroy the machines. Now, sadly, the machines won't give us any food, but at least they will give us some alloys, so we are essentially scrapping them. I think, though, they are allied with these fellows down here. Where are you? There's the one. You are allies in the Sanguine Alliance. With you and you. Yep, which means we need to get some forces down here as well, otherwise that'll be really annoying. Not that they have particularly strong fleets anyway. And they have one fleet moving in, so we may as well start. It's not like they're a real threat to us. Oh! You aren't allied with them, and then how did I... Oh, the Sanguine Alliance! There's two of them! The Alliance and the Compact. Well, that's just odd. Okay, then. Well, that makes life even easier for me.
is complete. Our construction is complete. Crushing a hostile line. Enemy nest taken.
Sometimes it pays to just watch a fight. Most likely keeping that in the end video, even though I didn't talk. Endless glory to the swarm. Okay, so there's an alternate fallen empire over here, the militant isolationists. And we are going to devour them. So what I'm doing is sending almost all of my fleets over here. We're going to jump to this system and then take over everything. And our ground forces are now at 11,000, which means we should be able to take out pretty much anything without even bombarding. So that is pretty darn awesome. Even if our leader is apparently a bit weakened at the moment. So for now, status quo, you're welcome. And you move over there with the ground forces. So their main fleet just went right past us, completely ignoring the main swarm. That's fine, because all I really want is your homeworld. Honestly, after I grab your homeworld, there's a very real chance I'm just going to ignore the rest of you, because that's all I really care about. I want these buildings. That's it. Well, say goodbye to your defense, and hello to my new worlds. Go, go, Gene Warriors. Another machine uprising. Well, aren't you silly? Speaking of which, we have now gained control of the core, the boundary, and we're about to take over this system here just to make sure we have easy access to the Fallen Empire if we ever so desire. Well, the Awakened Empire anyway. Also, would not like to be on that planet. Shiny. There's their fleet. Just want to force status quo, and this is the easiest way. Sadly, we did just jump, so we are currently weakened, but again, sheer number. Oh my god, all of those strike craft. That is horrific. Okay, good. That means we get everything we wanted. The science nexus is complete. So then, let's have a quick look-see if indeed we get double the bonus. Yes, we do! So plus 15%, plus 15%. This is really weird. We have such a huge empire sprawl, but at the same time, we have so much tech, it's kind of feeling like a more normal empire, at least in terms of science. Yeah, the extra admin cap really isn't helping. Plus 15 admin cap when you've got 1,990 and growing empire sprawl. It doesn't make all that much of a difference. Yeah, you better look away, you weird scientist. Making a new coordination center, which should give us even more sublight speed, even more navy capacity, and even more star bases. Once again, pretty darn gross.
Our construction is complete.
This is our station defending the L gate. One more machine uprising. Not learning from their neighbours, apparently. All three of these now have had machine uprisings. Treat your synths better. Strikecraft damage plus 140%. Strikecraft attack speed plus 110%. Okay, so, yeah, Strikecraft attack speed plus 140%. Look at those modifiers. Strikecraft damage increased by 140%, Strikecraft attack speed by 110%. The shields are strengthened by 85% and the armor by 40%. Those are some nasty Strikecraft. Scientific Revolution online and now the Grand Fleet as well. Lovely. The Coordination Center has begun its construction. Lovely. So it's at the first stage. Little bit of extra naval capacity, a little bit of extra starbase capacity. Now, what I want to see is that also increasing our sublight speed. Plus 20%. I think that's more, because I think it normally only gets plus 15%. But I might be wrong there. And now we need to save up for a bit. Domination is finished, and so we get Master Builders. The Coordination Center continues to be improved. And so now we can really check if our ships are indeed getting a bonus from both. Yep, sublight speed is now 25% rather than just 20. Lovely. Really think that I should have set the endgame crisis maybe 75 years early rather than just 50, because at the moment we could take more space. It would just take more time to get all that done and sorted. And once again, I am on a limited schedule right now since I can't record over the weekend, and I really want this out late Friday or early Saturday. But yeah, we could have set the endgame crisis 75, maybe 100 years early, but since this is the first time properly playing through this mod, I didn't want to get overwhelmed in case the mod was a bit weak. It turns out at the start, the mod seems quite slow, in fact. I would say it's slower than a regular Devouring Swarm, and it's a bit more difficult. But it scales really, really well once you get to certain thresholds of certain resources. So now we're just sort of waiting. The Coordination Center is online, and we are on over 80,000 science now. Yeah, that's getting a little bit stupid, to say the least. Yep, now on plus 30% sublight speed. Fantastic. Subspace Echoes. The Scourge are the endgame crisis. Well then. Let's see how our hyper-upgraded Scourge deal versus the enemy Scourge. Ooh, I've just realised the enemy Scourge are going to be really good versus shields. In fact, they pretty much ignore shields completely, so I guess it would be probably in our best interest, despite how upgraded this is, to move away from shields and go straight for armor, which makes us more like them. But then we're kind of countering it, and we're already so powerful. Honestly, this is going to be quite easy. I find the Scourge the easiest to defeat quickly, but one of the more difficult if you allow them to have a head start for a while. Fine, we'll go with armor, but what we're going to do is we're going to send fleets against them with similar fleet power to theirs. Make some fun fights. Just a thought, but now we're fighting enemies which don't have shields themselves. Really, it would be best to get the final level of the Plasma Accelerator, and then probably use those. The only reason why I wasn't using those before is simply because normally enemies have shields, and these ignore shields, so all that's going to happen is the plasma will do almost no damage to the shields and never get through. Then the enemy will die to all the getting through stuff. But now we're fighting those, maybe it would be best to go with this. Yeah, that would be significantly stronger, even though these are ignoring armor, because these aren't, and these are the vast majority of the damage. Yeah, let's go with that. Plus, that looks way better. Approaching the outer rim. Okay, they are almost upon us, and where are they? Please be in our territory? Okay. Good, yeah, because I'll take almost all of these straight away, so we just need to get over there. That is absolutely fine. So, our many swarms. Oh my god, I have so much fleet power. Is this the most powerful I've ever been at this point? Because there's a good chance it is. Really? We can't get through? That's fine. We'll just jump once we get to there. That's no real problem, honestly. So, warp gate to L gate. Whoa, so many jumps. And eventually getting there. Okay. So glad we have this gateway here. That was so useful. Now, honestly, we have... Well, we still are countering the enemy a little bit here. Well, actually quite a lot. But honestly, even if we went with an absolutely really weak build against the enemy, we had anti-shield stuff, and we had shields ourselves, we have so much fleet power, they don't stand a chance. So I am going to make sure that we fight the enemies with similar fleet power to us. I won't try to overwhelm them, just so I get a few good fights out of it. I won't be waiting until they have a foothold and then all the other swarms come through, because that will take too long, honestly. At this point, I am rushing a little bit, but I want at least a few good fights of Scourge versus Scourge. A science hive is lost. Okay, I've just found out something much more interesting. It turns out one of the wormholes is directly attached to their territory, so instead, we're going to just go and wipe them out, because this will be way easier. I'll still try and get a few good fights at least, but that's our new plan. Everything going over there. The problem is the game has actually crashed twice now, and the lag is pretty extreme, so I think the next full playthrough, at very least, I'm going to have a smaller galaxy. So, current plan, smaller galaxy, and an even earlier endgame crisis. So a more difficult endgame crisis and less things to take over, because the game just... I can't record under these circumstances, or I can, but it's very difficult, as much as I love this type of thing. Still had a lot of fun this playthrough. I look away for 1 second and ants everywhere. Oh, very angry ants. Oh, lovely, a 318... Oh no, actually no, this is terrible! I was hoping we could fight that with a very select amount of force. Okay, good, there's another one over there. Okay, continue. No, where are my cruisers? You meanies. It's just a swarm. Oh, that is gross. Makes me think of when I feed my mealworms, because I breed mealworms because I have several animals which eat them, and they're far cheaper to just give scraps to and breed, but yeah, that kind of is what I think of there. Just a feeding frenzy. A really gross feeding frenzy. You know, maybe it would be best if we just went and just attacked them straight away before the second wave, but I really want to see a fight a bit more clean. It's never going to be clean, but still, you get the idea. Tell you what, one of you... So, where's the weakest fleet? Okay, you're still damaged, but that's fine. You're close to them. You go there. So that'll be a close fight, and then we'll send 2 of the regular fleets forward. Okay, so it's about 400k versus 330,000, and then 170 versus 168. Good enough. On the other side, one more fight. With the game seemingly wanting to break at any given moment. Meanwhile, one of the more balanced fights. Honestly, that armor like that, we might be losing this. And that is a useless Titan. That's a Titan which weakens the enemy's shields. Well done. You did nothing. So this is the 170 versus the 168. And yeah, we're going to just about win this. Ooh, maybe not. Come on, swarmers.
Technology conceded.
Just about. Wow. Okay, everyone else though. Okay, they're ambushing us, so let's ambush them. You guys jump on through. Let's take out that as well. We've pretty much won now. There's only 2 fleets left, so let's continue before the game breaks again. We are currently in the enemy territory. I've had to declare war on this machine empire because annoyingly they had a world here which hadn't yet been converted, which means if we were to take back the station and we weren't at war with these fellows, it would have went back to these fellows' control, and because they have closed borders, we would have warped out. As you can see, it's currently under their control again, so I'm at war with them to be friendly with them. So what I'm going to have to do now is jump out of the system rather than move normally, because I can't wait until their world is dominated by us. In fact, I believe there's multiple worlds. Yeah, there's stations. We need all of this gone, otherwise the second wave is about to appear, which is going to be really annoying. Our next wave, let's speed this up as much as possible, please. Then you two are going over there, so one of you go over here. Oh, in fact, no, you know what? I'll go over there, that's fine.
Nest taken.
Only doing half damage, we've got a lot of force power here.
Planetary infestation begun.
Their missiles and their swarms are being countered by how much point defense we have, which is lovely. That is so weird. It's like a heartbeat. And we are victorious, and so ends this run, at least officially. This was an experience, I've got to say. So, a few thoughts then about the mod, about this run, and about everything. So, my overall opinion then of the Bioform Hive mod. Honestly, I think it was utterly fantastic, especially in terms of the theme. Being able to devour other populations, which then instantly became your ships, was a really, really great feeling, because it felt like a proper devouring swarm. So when coupled with the devouring swarm, it is utterly amazing. Every time you grab a population, grab a world filled with other species, you will devour them, and then you get more ships literally made out of what you've just devoured. That alone makes it a really fun experience if you're in a more cruel sort of mood. But also, the bioforms, because it was so slow to make the worlds, to sort out all of the different districts, because you're being forced to do the balanced economy, it also felt more purposeful and a bit slower in the early game. Honestly, the devouring swarm next to us would have eaten us alive very, very easily, but they kept on sending ships against our station, and we eventually won purely because they lost so many ships. But they were definitely ahead of us, and in the early game, I would say playing a non-bioform empire is probably a lot stronger than playing a bioform empire. But then as the game progresses, you get rewarded because these worlds scale incredibly well, and then you become incredibly powerful. Arguably a little bit too powerful. I certainly think that the fact you can be on 0 minerals and not really have any consequences is a little bit worrying. Of course, you are making less alloys, which are still needed for ships and still needed for station components, but after the mid-game, you really don't need that many of them. So I think that's something which needs to be looked into at least a little bit, because if I knew how inconsequential that was, I probably would have went with it a little bit earlier, to be perfectly honest. The last thing I'll say is I really wish I played on a smaller galaxy and I had the endgame crisis a little bit earlier, because both of these really affected my gameplay and kind of tainted my opinion near the end. Clearly, I was getting a little bit tired, a little bit bored of waiting, and I didn't really want to do much else because the game had started to slow down so significantly. And that's because there was so much going on in the larger galaxy. I think the next time I do a mod playthrough, I will definitely do a medium or small galaxy just to make it a bit fairer. But yeah, that's my opinion. It's a really great mod, loads of fun, especially when you get the hang of it, and I hope to see it updated more going forward. So with that, if you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Stellaris is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Now, I'm gonna get some sleep, and then there's a lot of editing to do. Thank you, and goodbye.